Can you go ahead and introduce yourself and your business to everybody?
Yes, hi. My name's Hussein with Cleaner's Joy. I started my business in January 2022, and yeah, have been running it since remotely.
Beautiful. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? Give us a little bit about that.
So I was born in Kenya in a refugee camp in Africa. It still exists today. It's called the Dadaab camp, and I moved to the U.S. in 1999, 2000. First to Atlanta, in Decatur, Georgia, and then we moved to Maine. Yeah.
So, growing up as a kid, what were some of your favorite things to do?
Yeah, growing up as a kid is some of my favorite things to do. Playing basketball, hanging out with friends, just playing sports. That's all I did. Was just keep busy with sports. Didn't really think about business. It wasn't really on my mind then.
Not many kids,
Yeah,
really think about business. It's just
yeah,
hanging out with friends, playing
exactly.
sports, stuff
Not
like
worrying about bills.
exactly. And then everything starts creeping up on you once you hit
Exactly.
13, 14. From that age up until 21, it just snowballs
Yeah,
very quickly, huh?
exactly. That makes sense.
So I guess that kind of answers my next question. When you were younger, did you kind of know what you wanted to be, or was it ever changing?
I just wanted to be a professional basketball player because I played basketball from like fifth grade and on, and it's like I'm going to go to the NBA, and that's all I wanted to do. And then high school came, and then senior year came. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and all my friends were going to college, so I was just like, I don't want to stay home, so I'm just going to go to college and just figure it out.
And you didn't have a major picked out. It was just
Nothing. It was just undecided.
okay. And who's your favorite basketball player? Or growing up, who was it?
My favorite basketball player growing up was Rajon Rondo. He played for the Boston Celtics with Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett. I love all those guys.
Played with a couple teams, Milwaukee a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit,
yeah.
Miami. That shot with
Oh
Chris
my
Bosh
God, I'll never forget that one.
that a lot of people won't. So, anybody in your family a business owner? Mom, dad, aunt, uncle, anybody like that?
No, I'm the first business owner and also the first college graduate in my family. So yeah, just
Excellent.
examples.
And I'm sure your family is super proud of you for all those achievements because
Yeah,
they're not little achievements.
they are not. It comes with the ups and downs, but you just got to keep persevering and just keep going.
Absolutely. Now, tell me a little bit about your experience and background. Obviously, you went to college. What
Mm.
did your major end up being? Stuff like that.
Yeah, so eventually, like sophomore, junior year of college, I was like, you know what, let me just do business because it didn't involve a lot of math, and I don't like math, so I just went towards the business route. Graduated with marketing in 2021. We didn't get to walk, but hey, I still got my degree, and I actually got into business because there was an internship with a national painting firm, a national painting company. They just go into your classroom and they tell you about this internship where you're going to learn how to run a business, sales, marketing, everything. And I was like, whoa, this is a great opportunity. And the guy didn't actually come into my classroom. He went to my friend's classroom, and my friend told me about this. And right after that, right when I learned about it is when I called the guy and I just told him, I'm ready to do this, and went through rounds of interviews, like three, 4 rounds, and eventually they just gave me the internship. I ran a local painting business that I franchised with them in my area, and that was like through the height of COVID, and dropped flyers, like 1,000 flyers, knocked on doors, the whole 9 yards, posted on Facebook because there was a lockdown and we couldn't knock on doors anymore. And after it was all said and done, I did about like $50,000 in revenue with them. And I knew I wanted to run my own business after that. I just didn't know what it was. and kind of fell down the rabbit hole of they call it money Twitter. Everyone's like running some type of business, and I saw a guy that was just like, I'm running a cleaning business. I've been doing it for like 10 years, doing it remotely, and I don't clean any houses. I haven't seen any houses. I was like, well, okay, that's cool, and bought his course for $100 in November of November 2021. Did it for 30 days. He goes through everything about, getting your LLC, picking your name, picking a logo, all of that, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, so I did that, built my website, launched my company January 2022, and yeah, I've been doing that since now.
Question about that internship. Was
Yeah,
it exterior house painting or interior?
it was both.
It was
It was
both.
yeah.
Funny enough, when I was in school in college, I applied for that same internship because it was at
Wow.
that, like you said, it was nationwide.
Yeah.
Like 3, 4 interviews, same. I got it, and then it wasn't supposed to start until that summer,
Yeah.
and that was at the beginning of the spring semester.
Mm.
And towards the end of the semester, I finished all my finals, and then when I finished my last final, I came home and I told my parents that I'm dropping out of college. So I didn't pursue the internship,
Yeah.
but I know it's the same exact one that, you
Wow.
applied for and did as well, because the moment you said that and it
Yeah.
was house painting and then you run I was like, that's got to be the same exact one. So
It's literally the internship. It just gave me that drive to be an entrepreneur, and graduated from college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So my other plan was to just work my way, you know, in the corporate route, but that was going to take too long. And this just, just changed my vision and my plans and made it a lot easier.
absolutely. So you started the business at the end of 2021, right?
Yes. Yep.
And then I guess, was there any inspiration behind it, or was just, from taking that internship that kind of
Yes.
sparked it in you?
The inspiration was to never paint again.
Okay.
I never wanted to go up a ladder again, and I just wanted to find a business where it was not like a one-time thing, and because you paint a house and then you don't hear back from the customer 3 4 years. But with cleaning, the guy was saying it's more of a recurring aspect. So you could set yourself a goal for like $50,000 a month, and then you already have $20,000 a month coming in. You don't have to work as hard now, and you just have to get that difference to hit your goal.
Absolutely.
Where painting, you're like, oh, I want to do $20,000 in sales this month. You don't have that recurring revenue coming in, so you have to start all over again and
Right. And
get
that three,
catch up
four
to that
years that
same
you
goal.
mentioned, that would have been on the low end of somebody repainting
Exactly,
time frame wise.
exactly.
Most people like 10 years plus
Yeah,
before they do any big changes. And it's kind of like a nudge from a family member, like, hey, we gotta spruce it up in here.
it just it was not fun painting, but it definitely gave me that inspiration to figure out what else I can use my experience and skills on to build another business.
So you wanted to remove yourself from doing the physical
Exactly.
work at the
I
same
d
time as running a business to just full
exactly.
time running it, getting the sales, the leads, all that.
That's what I wanted to do, was just focus more on the business operations instead of working in the business.
And safe to say you have not done a single clean for your business.
No,
No.
nope. I
Awesome.
haven't seen a house or a customer unless it's over the phone.
Okay. And then how much did you invest when you first started your business?
Uh, all in all, I would say like 3,000.
And what did that go towards?
That went towards marketing, the LLC formation, website development, um, hiring because Indeed they charge for like application and stuff, and just growing with the marketing, Google Local, Google Ads, all of those services. I tried all of them. You know, Bark, Angie's. I spent a lot of money on. It was mostly towards the marketing and getting yourself out there and letting customers know that you're there locally and you can help them out with their cleaning needs.
And if you were to try and tighten up that starting budget, get rid of
Mm.
certain things to start as with as little money as possible, what would you be taking out? Or where would you, I guess, trim some fat in a sense to start with as little as possible?
I would definitely do it like for the marketing aspect and not like just spending on all these, hiring for like local services, stuff like that, like Bark, Angie's, and just focus on the one that works, which is Google LSA. They just put you in front of customers that really want um, your services. People will book same day, next day, and it's not like let's say Google Ads where someone is just searching and they give you a bunch of different companies and you don't know which one to call, so you're calling all of them. But if someone calls you on Google LSA, they're gonna book, most of the time.
And did you try LSA first, or was it towards the middle of it, trying everything out? Because what did you try? Facebook ads as well, and other.
I tried all of them, Facebook ads, Angie's, Bark, Thumbtack, Google Ads, Google LSA, and then I noticed that I was getting a lot more people that were booking with us through Google LSA, so I put all my money into that, and that helped us rank, and also get more reviews on Google and be able to be found locally, for people that are searching for our services. Because the more reviews you get on Google, the higher your rank, and you're gonna be like first or second. We were like third for our what was it, local cleaning services.
Did you have you tried any free platforms like Facebook groups, or I know
Yes,
Craigslist charges a little bit now. Back in the day, it was free. But any other free
I
spaces?
forgot to add that as well. Facebook groups. I mean, people there are kind of just like window shoppers, though. So you have to keep like just keep on posting, just keep on showing up. And I used to do that like 3 to 4 times a week, but I just wasn't successful on the Facebook groups. I don't know if it was the wording. I don't know what it was, but it just wasn't successful at all.
It's
I like the painting one where it was successful. I think I sold like 10K off of Facebook groups
really
painting. Yeah,
okay. I mean, I know it's tricky because different parts of the country and around the world,
mm,
certain marketing channels aren't going to work the same, like
exactly.
Yelp or Facebook groups or whatever. But the one thing that is starting, I mean, more than a pattern, everybody that I've, interviewed for the
Yeah,
podcast, it's been Google LSA has been the number one driver.
exactly.
And is that the only marketing channel that you're currently running, or are you still doing some things here and there?
Yeah, right now, we like to diversify because we have more of a marketing budget. So we're using Google Ads, Google Local, LSA, and then we're also doing Angie's right now. But Angie's, like I said, is it's like hit or miss because some people on there they're just shopping around too, and they're not really serious about buying. So our close rate's really low on there compared to like Google Local or Google Ads, but we still spend on there to just diversify on the marketing budget.
Get your brand out there, brand
Exactly.
recognition, more eyes see it, and then
Yeah,
maybe they'll see you on Facebook or somewhere else, and they're gonna
yeah.
put the connection together and be like, "All right, maybe it's time."
It takes a lot of a lot of posting and lots of like it just takes time for them to make a decision. That's
Right. And
yeah.
then you said October or November of 2022 is when you started up.
So November 2021 is when I was going through the course, and then December of 2021 is when I finally like, got the website, got my first customer, and then January is when I incorporated and I was like just legally a company and I could get more customers and stuff.
So from January 22 till now, end of
Mhm.
July of 23, how much revenue have you done in total?
Total 750K.
750K in a year and a half.
Yes.
Wow, that's good stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you. The goal is to do
What
1 million in a year.
what I mean, with that amount of growth, what do you I guess what unique value does your business bring to the market? Because clearly it's doing something. And then again, where is Cleaner's Joy based out of?
So we're based out of Portland, Maine, and it's just like the cleaning industry there is very old. People don't have websites. When you call them, they listen the wrong service. This person might list like, "Oh, I do house cleaning," and then you call them because I did my research. I called about 10, 20 companies, and they're all like, "Oh, we don't do house cleaning anymore. We only do commercial." So then you're giving customers the wrong impression, and they're not going to call you anymore. And we just try to make cleaning as easy as shopping online. And I believe we're like one out of three companies in our area that offer online booking. So that's why we've been able to just grow like really fast.
Good
It's not too saturated of a market, and it was just easy to break into.
It seems like a lot of the more, I guess, more populous areas in the country, New York, Chicago, LA,
Mhm.
the major cities in Texas, those I don't want to say are oversaturated because you could always,
Oh yeah.
every couple years a business might sell, the new owner might tank it, whatnot.
Mm.
But these, I guess, micro areas like the suburbs of Detroit and your area, these are areas that, like you're now telling us, are obviously having these cleaning services, but are almost untapped from the tech aspect of what
Exactly.
it can be. So, being in an area, choosing that area is a huge bonus to you because you're less competition.
Exactly. Less competition and being able to be found online and, have help people just get a cleaning from anywhere. They could be anywhere and they could book a job and a cleaner's gonna show up and clean their home. And some people are just like, wow, I can't believe how easy that was.
And
We
you live where your business is?
I used to live where my business is, but like I said, I'm more like remote now. I'm in Texas and
Okay.
I plan on just traveling some more and just running my business remotely.
So you're doing the full remote. You're not living where you work or your business is. How many VAs do you have?
I only have one VA.
One VA. And how many cleaners? Are you doing the independent contractor or the employee?
I'm doing the independent contractor route. I have a guy with so one team with like 7 people, another team with 4 people, and then 3 solo cleaners.
So you're about 15 cleaners. Okay.
Yeah.
And monthly, what are you currently doing monthly?
Monthly right now, 70K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you projected to finish out the year
For the year, 800K.
for this calendar year?
Yep.
Okay. And I mean, a year and a half in business, you've almost hit 1 million in revenue. What
Yeah.
are some challenges you faced as a business owner and how did you overcome them?
Some challenges definitely is like I said when we were first getting started, just finding reliable cleaners because there's people who might be interested and you give them a call, you get ghosted and you just don't hear from them again. So that's like definitely like one of it's just like balancing the two, finding jobs, finding cleaners. finding jobs is nothing, you know. That's pretty easy. The hard thing is finding people to do those jobs because there's times that people might be calling and they're like, "Hey, I need an Airbnb cleaning, but we have a limit on our Airbnbs because we don't have enough people that want to do Airbnbs." So it's just just balancing the two.
Are you always basically in a hiring mode?
Always, yeah, always hiring. Hiring never stops.
And what are you like? I guess what are some of those strategies to get your hiring faster?
So one thing that I do is because when I started first, I was just just calling people and telling them about the position and just like doing an interview and then hiring them. So I made my process a lot more to easier to pre-qualify the person and make sure that they actually want to do this position because there might be someone that applies and they don't even know it's a contractor position. So we have 3 steps. We do a phone interview first, right after they apply. Tell them about the position. Uh, you know, let them tell us about themselves, what their cleaning experience is, and then just ask them. It's just something that you want to do, and then from there we do a virtual Zoom interview, ask them some formal interview questions, and then do a background check, and then do an in-person like session where we get to know the person because we want to make sure that this is someone that we can trust to send into someone's home, so we want to see how they are in person, what their character is, stuff like that, and then finally get them to do their first test clean and get them that real clean after that.
Where are you doing the test clean? Is it a family member's house,
Family
a
member,
random?
friends,
Okay.
yeah, just do like 2-3 hours, get their feedback on how the cleaning was, and depending on how that cleaning went is when we would assign them to a real customer's home.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about strategies to attract and retain your customers? I know you're using LSA and a couple other marketing channels, but I guess, what are you telling them on the phone when they're calling? Because obviously not the ones that are booking directly. You
Yeah.
get a chance to speak with them; they're just ready to go. But the people that are calling in, what are you telling them? What are you doing differently to lock them down as a client and then turn them into recurring customers?
So first, I like to mention that there's cleaners, individual cleaners, and then there's professional cleaning companies like myself. Individual cleaners, if something goes bad, they just ghost you, and that's what we get a lot of. People are complaining about, hey, my cleaner just left. I haven't heard from them since. I want to book with you guys, and then we, let them know like, hey, what you hired was an individual cleaner. If something happens, you never hear back from them with us. We're going to make sure that we give you great quality. You can easily reach us by text, phone number, our website chat. We're here for you, 24/7. And we sell a premium cleaning service, so it's not going to be cheap, but you're going to have that sense of mind that when the cleaning is done, you're completely satisfied, and we're not going to leave your house until you're completely satisfied, and that's what helps us attract clients. And then after that first clean, I like how Booking Koala sends that, hey, refer someone to us, get $50 off. So we have been getting referrals from that way. And then we also send like a blast text message, just letting them know like, hey, thank you for booking with us. We really appreciate your service and your business. And here's 20% off your next cleaning if you want to try us again. And it usually just leads to them booking another monthly or weekly cleaning.
Have you had a lot of customers who just started, blasting their friends and family and getting a lot of recurring customers that way? Like from a
Ye-
specific couple customers?
Yes, there has been a customer that like gave us like 3, 4 of her family and uh, you know uh, friends and stuff like that, and she's just using that $50 off for her monthly cleaning services. So yeah,
And that's huge because that's zero marketing spend
Exactly.
on your end. You know, it's four recurring customers that it could potentially turn into from the one that after you got your first cleaning with them, their second cleaning, that marketing money that cost for them goes down significantly up
Mm.
until probably the third cleaning where it evens out. And then everybody else they refer in is basically free money
Yeah,
in a sense.
that cost per customer is essentially zero, you know? So it's a win-win.
I feel like business owners who aren't utilizing referrals,
Mm.
um, whether it's within our system or an outside system, are missing out on a huge, huge
A lot of them.
opportunity to get obviously more customers and to get it for basically next to nothing.
Exactly.
What about a specific example of one of your most successful marketing campaigns that you've implemented?
One thing that we, have been doing since the start is just texting realtors, in our area, even the ones that don't reply. Like, we have a new list of realtors, and we texted those realtors, and then we texted the ones from last year, and we're just staying on, top of their mind. Even if they don't respond, they still see it. And we've had people that we've texted, last year, and now they're booking jobs and they're referring clients to us. And moving cleaning service it pays really well, so it could be like $1,000 cleaning, and we texted this person last year. So to new business owners, just just keep cold calling commercially, you know whatever it is, commercial business, realtors. You just have to just keep cold calling. It never stops.
It's the little things with the consistency that build up over time where you're not going to see it for a while. Those results won't be visible, but
Mm.
then out of nowhere, something's going to happen and you're going to be like, whoa, where did all of this come from?
And that's all it is just consistency. Just keeping on doing what's working, even if you don't see something from it, like right then and there. It's gonna take some time.
And even with you, who has a sizable marketing budget where you're spreading out that money through several marketing channels, you're still finding ways to try and acquire clients for free. It
Exactly.
just, it just, you're instead of money, you're paying with time. But if you get all your processes set up and everything is streamlined, that opens up more time for yourself to do other things like this,
Yeah.
finding free channels of marketing to get customers. Again, it does take a longer time, um, but it pays off, like you've said.
Yeah. All you have to do is just one good cleaning for a realtor, and you have all their clients from there. You know.
Absolutely. And if I mean, they might even try you out first to
Yep.
see, the realtor will try you out. They'll end up loving it. And then if they've got two, three clients a month that need a move in cleaning or a move out cleaning, it's great. It's beyond great. What
It is.
about, trends and developments within the industry? How do you stay up to date? Because I know states are all specific with their laws, and then obviously the country. How are you staying up to date on that stuff? Being busy all the time.
Just like to, there's like the booking quality group, different Facebook groups. I also have like my own like millionaire mindset group with like other business owners. We just bounce ideas off each other, what's working, what's not working, and just try to take that feedback. Just reading, reviews from customers. You might just search up a competitor and just see what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right, and try to implement that.
And then there's always going to be, with marketing channels, one day something is going to work
Yeah.
with, let's call it Facebook ads or Twitter ads. And then the next day, your ads are getting no impressions, no clicks, no nothing. So, something got updated.
Yeah,
And then you find out fairly quickly what's been changed. And now you have to adapt to that.
exactly.
What about financial management? What's your approach on that? And then planning in your business with that financial management.
So we try to keep margins high at like 20, 30%, and make sure that every clean that we do, we're making a profit on it. So we like to track, like, month to month financial goals, quarterly, see how much we did last quarter, this quarter, last month, this month, and if we need to make changes, implement those changes, and yeah, just see how we're improving, and see what we can uh, improve on.
And when it comes to upset customers, do you do a refund? Do you do a partial refund? Do you do a re-clean with the same cleaner? Do you do a re-clean with a separate cleaner?
Yeah, so we used to do a refund for services that that went really bad, but it was just eating into margins. So right now we just offer a free reclean. Any area that we miss, if they call us within 24, 72 hours, it's completely free, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna fix those areas that we missed.
And how often are you seeing customers who call in for that?
I would say maybe 2 to 3 customers. Our quality is pretty good, so 2 to 3 customers a month
That's
that come.
monthly, not weekly.
No, that's monthly. Yeah,
That's great. Those are great numbers. And the way you handle it, you know, you started with refunds, but then you realize that it's eating into your bottom dollar. Sending somebody back just to touch up those spots, whether it's the same cleaner or a different
yeah,
cleaner, and you send them gas money and some money for their time as well to go back. Um, Huge, because it
yeah,
also builds that brand awareness and that brand loyalty with the customer and yourself, and it shows that you truly care about giving them the best service.
exactly. Because I've read some reviews about companies locally in our area, and they do a job and they don't go back. You know, just take the customer's money and it's done. So that's why we offer that free reclean. I mean, there's customers that go against it and they don't like it, but other customers, they love it because we're going back for free and we're going to just fix what we messed up, and that's what separates us from competitors as well.
I mean, there's always going to be those few customers who are going to be upset and try and wiggle through the system and fight you to get their money back. But if you have it on your website in a couple pages, and if you have that terms and conditions box where they check it off before they submit for the booking, not much they can do about it. I mean, if they keep fighting you and if they want to put up a review, you could go ahead and just refund the money
Yeah,
and kind of blacklist them as a customer so you don't got to deal with it later on. But again, few and far between with those who abuse the system in that sense.
yeah, it is a few, and we have seen like a bunch of people just disputing because we didn't give them the refund or stuff like that. So that's why, especially with the internal review system, where we do a cleaning and then right after the cleaning, the customer gets an email, and we try to stay on top of things. If something goes bad, we're emailing them, we're texting, calling, just staying on top of things to make sure that we handle it diligently.
And do you use or do you have your providers use the signature feature where at the end of the clean, the customer can do a walkthrough with the provider to make sure everything was good and then have them sign in the provider app so that you collected the signature saying everything's good?
I did not know that. So I will implement that.
Yeah, that's another little good safeguard, you know? So that'll cut down massively on people
Mm,
trying to wiggle through the system there. I mean, there will be times where, you know, a couple will book the cleaning and, you know, or the wife booked it and then the husband's home at the end
yeah,
and in his eyes it looks good, but then his spouse comes home and they're like, well, they missed this and this and this. That can happen too. But again, another safeguard feature where it protects the business owner from customers who are trying to scam the system.
Yes, we have had that too. That's the worst when one person's there and they're like, "It's great," and then the other person calls us the next day and they're like, "We found some stuff," and I'm like, "But your partner just said everything went well." So you do have to deal with those.
You get there's give and take, you know. If it's a customer who's been with you for several months now and there haven't been issues, then you know they're a good customer. But if it's the first time or second time, and the first time they also have said something about it, then they start to get on your radar
Yeah.
for, you know, maybe they're not the right customer for us, which that's one big thing that I've seen in the Booking Qual Facebook group is business owners are always saying that that's not my customer. That's
Oh
not my
yeah.
type of customer. And not all of them are going to be your customer. You don't necessarily want to have
Yeah.
every single type of customer because it just brings headache. If you want to deal with it all, if you have enough staff to deal with it, then go for it. But knowing that every single customer potentially will not be the best fit for you, understanding that early on is massive for you to get in a great mental space to grow. Because if you're fighting with the little guys who are nickel and diming you, you're just going to be run around in a circle and pulling your hair out.
You're not gonna go far. I completely agree. I mean, there's customers that I'm on a call and they're like, "Oh, my last cleaner just left," and I'm like, Okay, wait, why did they leave?" You know, just asking those questions because you don't want to work with a crazy customer. And there is customers that I've said like, you know what, it's just not going to be a good fit. We just can't work together. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, and some customers will be a little shocked by that, where a business refuses them, but that's why there's several businesses in each space in every area that they could just try the next one, and hopefully that one is more suited towards them.
Yeah.
Now, can you share an experience where you had to make a tough decision that had a significant impact on your business, whether it was for the good or for the bad?
I would say the no refund policy. That that definitely made a lot of people mad. Because some people, once something goes bad, they just want something monetary. You know, they want like, oh, they're like, hey, can you give me like just $80 back, 10%? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't, but I can do a reclean. And they're just like, but I don't want to reclean. And you just have to, you know, just talk them through it, and you might get a bad review from it. Just make sure you respond, you know, positively to the review, and let the person who's reading that review know that we did try our best to work with this customer, and we did offer them other alternatives, and they might have just left that review because they were frustrated at that time.
And it's funny from a business owner's perspective, you know, the customer obviously booked a cleaning, they wanted the cleaning,
Yeah,
and now the next day they're saying, "Oh no, I want money back. I don't want it re-cleaned." Well, why'd you book it in the first place? Why'd you
yeah.
want your house? Did you only want 70% of your house or 80, 90% of your house clean and, you know, a couple corners left? Like that just
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. And, you know, you just realize real quickly that they're cheap and
yep,
they just want their money back, and they think they if you give it to them, they think they won something over on you, and they're just going to continue to do it. But if they get stopped in their tracks, maybe they'll more than likely stop buying your services,
yeah,
but then it's less headache for you.
yeah, which is not bad at all because you don't
Exactly.
have to keep dealing with that customer.
Pick and choose those battles of what headaches you want and
Yeah,
how far you're willing to go to fight for them, you know.
exactly.
Somebody who's fighting you for 20 bucks is that's a
Just
headache
like,
that
I don't
you're
know
just
if
like,
I wanna work with this one anymore.
absolutely. And then how are you fostering a positive company culture within your business, especially being remote in a completely different state and city?
Yeah, so we try to, you know, give bonuses at the end of the year, Christmas, Thanksgiving, just to let our cleaners know that we care about them. And then for every review that the cleaner gets, we give them a bonus for that too. And our cleaners are human, and at the end of the day, they are the business. You
Right.
know, they do everything. So if they call us and they're getting burnt out, they want 1 or 2 days off. We just give it to them. We don't fight them on it because we want them, good mentally, physically, emotionally, and just ready to give a great quality cleaning to every client that books with us.
100%. I mean, in the beginning of this, you said your biggest, I don't want to say headache, but your biggest challenge is hiring, and you're in a
Exactly.
constant hiring phase. So once you have these established cleaners, you want to keep them as happy as possible. You want to
Always.
do everything in your power to make them happy because, exactly like you said, they're human. We're all human. Everybody is going to make a mistake here and there from time to time. The ones that are constantly making mistakes, especially in the beginning, you
Yeah.
weed them out. They work maybe for you for a little bit, and then you come to an understanding that you both aren't the right fit for each other. But with the way you give bonuses during holidays and bonuses for those positive reviews, that's just building again that brand continuity between now yourself and your business and
Yeah.
your providers instead of the customers, and having it just flowing like that is the best thing you could ask for. Because if you have an upset provider with you or your VA,
Mm.
then they're going to go into that house, with their mindset half there to do
Yeah.
the job, and the other half is still going to be upset of whatever reasoning they had with you. And that level of professionalism and clean is not going to be at the 100% that you want, that the client wants, and that the provider ultimately wants because that's their livelihood, it's their job.
Right. Right.
What steps are you taking to ensure, customer satisfaction and address any issues or complaints? We've already touched base on
Yeah.
the refunds, not giving them, and then going for recleans. But what about beyond that or leading up to that?
So we follow up on after every cleaning. So if the cleaning is done today, we're gonna follow up tomorrow and make sure that that customer is completely satisfied. And like I said earlier, that internal review system that goes directly to management, we see it after every cleaning. If it's a bad review, a good review, and just staying on top of that and making sure we can respond to it efficiently. And then also doing the walkthrough with them if they are home, we do that walkthrough with a client, and I'll be on the phone or my assistant's going to be on the phone and just ask them, how did everything go? Would you want us back again? You know, how are your providers? And just try to work with the customer instead of it being like a one and done from the start of the transaction all the way to the end. We're always making sure that the customer is satisfied with our service.
What about now? How do you prioritize and manage your time as the owner?
Yeah. So I like to focus on goal achieving activities instead of like tension relieving activities. So whether that's like boxing, going to the gym, always learning, reading stuff on like leadership, sales, just personal development, so I can grow and become a better leader and lead my cleaning company. And because success is a journey, it's not a process. So I'm always just learning. I want to be a lifelong learner. So whether that's like I said, reading the books on leadership, sales, personal development, just improving myself and building better habits.
And the way you prioritize that, is that more so in the morning when you wake up, at night before going to bed, or are you trying to mix it in during the day when you have some free downtime to, sprinkle a couple pages of reading?
Yeah. So right now I only work like 3 hours a day. So I'll wake up at like 8 a.m. because I'm Central Time, and I'll work till like 12 p.m. Central Time. Take my lunch, listen to a podcast, read a book, go to the gym, go to boxing, you know, get some rest, get a nap, and if I didn't get enough sleep, and just always being, building those habits of just being consistent on my health, my learning, uh, gym goals, boxing, whatever, and just improving and fitting that in into my time after my like 3 to 4 hours of work because my VA is handling mostly everything, so he saves me a lot of time.
So then, how much time in the beginning were you putting into the business versus how much time are you putting in now?
Oh, the beginning, every day. I mean, Monday through Sunday, I was always working in the beginning because it was just like a one man team, and I was just learning the business, and I put together like a sales like training system, and I built all these systems while I was working, Monday to Sunday, all those hours, and just handed it to my VA, gave him the steps to, how to book a job, how to do this, just simple, steps, and just broke it down for him, and that's helped me, just have a lot of time for other stuff that I can focus on.
So in the beginning, full time, 10, 12 hours a day.
Oh yeah,
Now you're at 3 hours a day.
yeah.
What point did you hire your VA?
I hired my VA full time this year.
So the last several months, sometime.
Yes, February.
And I'm going to say or assume, safe to say, that you're happy with that decision.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I
Would
mean,
you have done it sooner?
oh no, no,
Oh,
I wanted to be more hands on at the start to like you know add more like recurring revenue, book all the jobs, and just keep learning and build those systems. If I didn't spend all those hours learning, talking to customers, handling complaints, then I couldn't tell my VA how to do it. So it was definitely worth it.
absolutely. I know I wouldn't call it a big debate, but there is a debate within the Twitter community and the Facebook group
Mm,
where people are constantly asking, at what point are you hiring a VA? And it's usually split where the half say, as soon as I can, as soon as I could afford it.
yeah.
And then the other half is saying, just like you said, I want to make sure that I learn every single aspect of my business and my brand, lock down that brand so
Mm.
that now I could teach these things going forward and not have to do it, simultaneously.
I would say it's the two that you named. First, being able to afford it, and then the second, knowing the ins and outs of your business. Because if your VA asks a question, you have to be able to answer it and give him a great answer on how to handle different things in the business.
And
And if you
especially if
can't
it's
do that, you should hire them.
if it's a time sensitive matter
Yeah,
where they need to know the answer and you don't know it and you're like, hold on, let me figure it out. Depending on what type of scenario we're in, it could either hurt you a little,
yeah,
it could hurt you a lot, and it could hurt
right.
financially too. So again, not necessarily saying one way is better than the other.
Mhm.
It's more based upon the person and how you want to structure yourself as the business owner and how you want to have the business run going forward. Because there's
Right.
so many ways to, you know, yes, you have a remote cleaning service or, a home service based business, but there are many different ways. You could be a fully hands on business owner and have zero office staff, and you could save all that money and put it back into your own salary at the end of the year. Fine, totally great.
Yeah.
Or, like yourself, you could be fully remote, have somebody handling it nonstop. The business is running in the back end 24/7. People can be booking.
Yeah.
And you just spent that first year learning as much as you could to get that baseline down, and now you can cut your hours more than significantly, so you could start to enjoy life a little bit and also spend more time learning other aspects of the business, other marketing channels, things of that nature.
That too, yeah.
So, what about metrics or KPIs are you using to track and measure the success of your business? What are some of the key ones?
So right now, like cost per customer, the close rate, retention rate, profit margins. I like to track all those things and compare them to last year, this year, how many customers were added in a month, how many we lost that month, how long the customer is staying on with us. All those things are very important to track because you want to know if your business is growing or if it's not growing. And if it's not growing, you want to see what you can do to, improve.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at a chart over
Yeah.
time on your business and the total revenue is going up, sure, but what if your cost per customer shot up
Yeah.
significantly at the same time instead of gone down? Well, sure, your business is growing, but your margins aren't. And
Yeah.
knowing all these things is going to be of tremendous value so that you can, maximize everything that you need to.
Yeah.
And
It's definitely worth it.
when did you start tracking KPIs and metrics?
Right from the start. I still have like, because before I used to use like spreadsheets and stuff to like keep track of customers, how much they're paying every month, weekly, bi-weekly, stuff like that. How many commercial clients we've added. But now it's become a lot easier because Booking Quality does it for me. So I don't have to use a spreadsheet.
Like, I mean, we're always growing, but I would say one of the bigger features that I believe is so useful is that not the marketing tab,
The reports.
the report section. I'm sorry. Yes, massive because you could break it down. This week, last week, this month, last month, custom period. You can do all sorts of things, and that section is going to be expanding as well to give even more things that you could be looking up. Um,
I
what
can't wait to see
about
features
what
you guys
about?
add.
I'm sorry.
Said I can't wait to see what new features you guys add. It's just it's nice just seeing like how many cancellations I've gotten. I used to track all of those on spreadsheets. So
It's
like,
super
man,
nice to
it
just get
saves
rid
so
of
much
Google
time.
Sheets or whatever you were using and just have it all in one spot that's
Yeah.
constantly updating and not, manual entering and
Mm.
user error because you could, a decimal wrong place here
Yeah.
and there is going to screw you up tremendously. And then going back, yeah,
Yeah.
spreadsheets are great for some things and horrid for many others.
Yeah, if you have like 10 customers, yeah, but if you're getting like 200, 500 calls a month, it's hard to track all those on a spreadsheet.
Oh, 100%. I would, even if I had one customer for
Yeah.
months, I would go with a software.
Yeah. It makes things a lot easier.
Competition, we talked a little bit about it already, but how are you handling competition in the industry in your area?
Right now, there's of course like the cleaning industry has boomed and low barrier low barrier to entry. So there's always a new, Google listing for a new company and you just try to see, what they're doing. Do they have a website? Can you give them a call? Do they have reviews? How many reviews have they gotten last month compared to this month? And are they actually getting jobs? And but I like to just I'm always on top of the local cleaning business in my area, seeing what new companies here and new companies there. But if it's like an individual cleaner, I'm not really worried about them.
Sure.
You have like the Facebook people who you're like, oh, I just started my business. I love to work with some people. They don't really know anything about marketing, so I'm not worried about those people. I'm worried about the people who who know about booking koala and they're using booking koala and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm not the only one using booking koala in my area. So just seeing what they're doing, if they actually know what they're doing, if they're growing. But other than that, I just like to focus on growth. And I want to be number one in my area. So just seeing what they're doing and then what I can do.
And like you said, every time a new business pops up, you're looking for those key things. Do they have a website? Do they have online booking? Are they reachable? Are they responding quickly within a certain time? Those are all things that at baseline, if every business owner is using, the same software and all that, there's not much. I mean, the only thing you could do is basically answer the phone immediately
Yeah.
and have no wait time. Or the other thing is being established a year and a half now. How many reviews do you have currently on Google?
157.
So somebody starting out with zero looks at that,
Yeah.
and that's the biggest differentiating factor for a customer being like, am I going to go start with the new guy who's a couple bucks cheaper? Or am I going with the reputable, 4.7, 4.8 out of 5 stars with 150 plus reviews? That's what, you know, makes you stand out from competition. But once they start getting reviews and start getting the
Yeah.
ball rolling, it's
And then you're like, oh wow, this guy's at 50 reviews. Let me get more reviews this month and just call everybody.
and it's almost like, in sports, it's a
Yeah,
friendly competition of,
it is.
if you're tracking it and you're realizing, hey, this guy started 3 months ago, he had zero reviews, but now he's like
Mm.
40, 50 in. I'm in a year and a half and I'm at 150. I got to start
Yeah,
generating those reviews super quickly. I got to get up there faster. So it's a nice little motivational push to
it
get
really
you to keep
is.
going.
It really is. I remember when I was starting, and I think the top person had like, I think at the time 200, and they were in business for like 4 years. I was like, okay, so this person did this much reviews. Every year he's been getting these many reviews, and I was like, okay, I could definitely do that. And now he's like getting more than me because he's seen me catching up. So he's at like 250 right now, and
And
I'm just trying to catch up to him.
do they have online booking?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I don't know what they use, but yeah, they also have online booking. And then one of them, I think he used to have online booking, and now he just does like request a quote. So that's what separates us from him because people can book online for hours, and for him, they can.
Right. And I mean, again, give and take with, how you want to run your business. Because some business owners in the space who are using Book and Koala, they kind of prefer the quote because it customers will lie. If you're going based off square footage and not flat rate or hourly, whatever, they'll put that their home is a lot smaller, or 3 bed, 3 bath house, and they only want 2 beds and 2 baths cleaned when they submit the booking. But then when the cleaner shows up, they're like, well, I want everything. There's reasons why they're doing the quote. But again, every business owner is going to be different. Every way they run it is going to be different. And you just got to find what works for you and what makes you happy. Can
And
you
to
go
if
ahead?
I can add on to that about the booking online, because you do have people that book online and they may lie. Before we even assign a cleaner to that booking, we always call them. We ask these questions like, what's the condition of your home? Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Is there a lot of pet hair? Is there a lot of dust? When was the last time your home was cleaned? And asking them these questions, because there might be someone that, books a cleaning and they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
They just booked a clean online, and I'm like, hey, you booked a biweekly deep clean, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. So I'm like, okay, let's change it to a one time, and then after that, you can do a biweekly. So just following up with them after they book online. We don't just assign a cleaner right to that booking after it comes in. We always make sure that both the customer and the company is all on the same page.
And that's also huge for you as the business owner because if you're calling the customer and fixing
Mm,
a mistake that they made, which would cost them several hundred extra dollars, that's just showing how honest and what your brand is all about. Because, like you said, they booked a recurring deep clean every other week,
yeah,
and now you're switching them down to a one-time cleaning just so they could see how the service is. If if I accidentally did that and the cleaning service, reached out to tell me I messed up, in my mind, I'm already going to be like, if this first clean goes through, then and
yeah.
everything's great, I'm sticking with them because they're super honest.
And that's what we try to do. We want to be transparent. We don't want to come in there and be like, "Hey, it's going to actually be $700." We want to we want to make sure we tell you that right over the phone before we get to your home, so you know what you're getting yourself into and how much it's going to cost.
Right. What about if you can describe your leadership style and how does it contribute to your business's success with your VA and then with your cleaners?
I would say my leadership style is visionary. I have a clear vision and for the future, and I try to motivate my team to work towards that vision and achieving that goal, which is to be the number one cleaning company. Everyone that we hire, we show them presentation, where we are, where we started, how many reviews we have. We want to keep adding more great reviews, keep doing great quality cleanings, and just help them find more jobs to become that number one cleaning company. So always focusing on the vision and making sure that everyone, the VA, the cleaners, they all know where you want to go.
What about now with ensuring your business remains, sustainable, environmentally friendly? Do you have green clean option or anything like that?
Yes, we offer both natural and green cleaning because there's people who don't like harsh products. They might have a baby or someone that's just allergic to these natural products at the home. So we offer those services to them as well.
Anything, have you ever ran into any issues with customers wanting something or not necessarily specifying that they wanted it and
Mm.
then calling back being like, what kind of product did you use?
Yes, yes, we have we've had customers that requested like, oh, send me, the products that you use in my home. Like it's just like the scent is so strong and it's giving me headaches and I'm like, I'm so sorry, but if you had told us, you want this green cleaning from the start, we would have offered you that. But the products we use are, we use them in every home and it's just going to make your home smell fresh and the smell is going to go away in a couple of days. So just assuring them that the product we use is not like dangerous or going to affect their health. They might just have a that headache that's going to go away.
And if it's not in the dead of winter and it's, 50 degrees plus, they could air out, open the windows, air it out a little bit. I know it's not ideal, but if that situation ever arises, that's it's kind of the first thing you go to, open up the windows, air out your place and leave home for,
Yeah,
a couple
just leave the
hours.
house for a couple hours until the smell goes away. Even that one customer, I think for floors we use like a commercial like floor product cleaner, and that's why like it was like the scent was just very strong. The floors just really needed a good like floor cleaner.
It's tough. It's super tough when customers also, I'm sure you ask, when was the last time your home was, cleaned or even deep cleaned? And for whatever reason, they may lie and either they're embarrassed or shy or whatever. But then your providers get to the home and it's, not like they said it was. And the grout could be, caked up with mud and dirt and just all types of nastiness,
Yeah.
and they got to use a little bit more product to get it out, but it kind of happens that way.
It happens, and like I said earlier, just making sure that they know that if we do go there and the deep clean is needed, they will be charged for the deep clean. And then I just say, "Do you still want to proceed?" And they're like, "Yes," and that's the agreement. So when we go there and we tell you like, "Hey, it's actually going to be $700," we're not going to be like, "Hey, cleaner, you have to leave." Like the cleaner's going to do the job, and the client's going to get charged for it because they have already agreed to it.
Right. Absolutely. What about if you can discuss partnerships or collaborations you've had that have just been instrumental to your growth?
Right now, we have been working with different cleaning companies in our area. For example, like commercial cleaning companies that they might not have the capacity to take on a job, so they refer us to that business, and we gain that business, or just like helping out other cleaning companies. If they're busy, they send us jobs, and then if we're busy and we can't handle jobs, we'll just give those jobs to them. So that like friendly competition that you talked about earlier, it just goes a long way. I remember this one cleaning company this summer. I mean, I think they gave us like 4 or 5 jobs, and that's that's 3 jobs you didn't have to market for because they just couldn't take on the jobs.
It's that give and take that you said,
Yeah,
if you don't have enough cleaners to handle it, why, why waste that by telling them, themselves to go find another cleaning company where you have this partnership with that, your competition, you send them the clean or the customer, and then you're in good standing with them. They'll send it back if it ever happens to them. So
yeah,
it's not a waste, and you're not necessarily, you are helping them, but you're not hurting yourself at the same time.
right, right, and yeah, it's just a win-win for everybody, because there's probably competitors that don't want to talk to us, and they don't want to share jobs, but for the ones that do, it does really pay off because you might be like 3 hours away, and a customer might call me, and I can't handle that job, and now you just got like $1,000 job because I couldn't do it.
100%. What about maintaining healthy work life balance as a business owner? I know it's easier now working, only a few hours a day. What about in the beginning when it was, full days?
So back in the full days times when I was working, Monday to Sunday, it was always if I got like burnt out or stressed, just shutting off my laptop. If I missed a call, I have that autoresponder, so just letting them know like, oh, we're gonna call you tomorrow, we're gonna call you, next week, whatever it may be, and because you don't if you're burnt out, you don't want to take a call. You don't want to take a call, and then customers the they can kind of sense through the phone that you're just frustrated or something's wrong with you, and they don't want to work with you. So if you're going to take that phone call, you have to be in a good state of mind, for them to book with you. So if I'm like burnt out or stressed, I didn't take a phone call. I just waited till the next day.
That's a great way to look at it. Answering a phone, whether it's somebody who knows you very well,
Yeah,
family or friend, or even a total stranger. Tone, the way you present yourself over the phone is huge. It's
it
massive,
is.
especially being the business owner handling the phone call. If you're not super excited about this phone call and landing this customer or fixing the issue, then you're hurting yourself. You're hurting the business. So taking a step back, kind of letting it go to voicemail, or, if need be, send an email, giving yourself a little bit of time. Some people may not look at it as the right option,
Yeah,
but it works for you.
it
And
does.
and that's the biggest thing. As long as it works for you and your business and you're happy, then it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Because again, it's working for you, it's not hurting your business, and you're making sure you handle yourself mentally so that you can keep going and you don't get into that rut of burnout super fast.
Right.
What about networking? I mean, I know you've networked with this business, this cleaning
Mm.
business, and you're marketing with realtors as well to get cleans. What about anywhere in between, or just connecting even more with these people?
Yeah, so, at at the start, when I was first starting my business, of course, no one knew about my business, so I was going to every networking event, just getting the word out, handing out business cards, calling people, doing one-to-ones with people, realtors, business owners, just telling them about my business. At first, it didn't really do much, but stuff does take time. So, you know, 6 months, a year, and then this person introduces you to their girlfriend who's a property manager, and then now you're getting all of their jobs, or, the business owner you met with, now you're cleaning their restaurant. So it just goes a long way, just building those relationships, because they say your network is your net worth. So, having those connections definitely does help, and, it's helped us in more ways than I can imagine. Because at first it was just like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I don't feel like I'm getting anything from it, and 6 months, a year later, it's just the calls just came in, and I noticed that it was working.
I feel like a lot of business owners who start out early on think I need to learn Facebook ads, I need to learn SEO all right away. That's the only way I'm going to get customers. And, you know, they think networking has kind of died down, or word of mouth, which are completely wrong. It's massive, especially in the home services industry, home cleaning, car, mobile car detailing, pool cleaning, whatever the heck it can be.
Yeah,
Word of mouth and referrals, especially if you're face to face with these people and you have a great 5 minute introduction, and you know you talk about your business and outlook and everything like that. Massive. If they could put a face to the name, then you already got a leg up on people who
right,
are, I hate to use the word, but kind of hiding in the digital
mm,
space. And again, not necessarily saying that's bad, but you've done it, you're doing it both ways. You've
yeah,
networked face to face, you've gotten your face out there, you've met people, but now you're fully remote and you're traveling the country, going to be traveling the world while this is constantly running.
right.
So again,
It
just
pays off.
knowing these things and being
Yeah,
able to implement them are massive.
it pays off because there's people who, you know, have you heard about BNI?
What was that?
It's called BNI. It's like a nationwide business networking group, and they'll ask you to like, hey, you want to come to our meeting? There's realtors, there's all these business minded people that run a business or run a restaurant, and just come introduce your company, and just off like one introduction, meeting with these people one on one, explaining to them my business, what we're doing, and how we want to help the community. It goes a long way. And like you said, hiding behind the digital world, it really doesn't do much if you're just focusing on like one route to gain customers. People want to know who's running the business, who's behind it all. And then when people call, they're like, "Hey, is this Cleaner's Joy? Is Hussein there?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, yes, it's actually me speaking. How can I help you?" They're like, "Oh, I heard from a realtor friend, my friend at this city. We just want to book a job, try you out." And then you give them that discount, whether it's like a friend discount or business owner discount, a networking group discount, whatever it may be, just giving them some sort of discount to try you out, and then getting that recurring cleaning from them afterwards.
Massive. The networking, and whether it be a referral fee or a discount, just combining that again, it'll be an initial discount on the first clean,
Yeah,
or it could be the first couple if you want, but you could just have it on that first one and then recurring going forward.
yeah,
It'll just be maybe a frequency discount if you're going weekly or bi-weekly. Um, but just again, stacking all these different aspects of your business and combining them together to make everything super fluid
mm,
is I think the most important part that a lot of business owners don't focus on. They focus and they see them as separate parts of the business, separate entities of the
yeah,
business, but not as a bigger picture of like with SEO and backlinking,
yeah,
it's first got to go to this page and then you got to have links coming to that. It all works together to
yeah.
help the bigger picture.
It all ties in together.
What about setbacks and failures? Everybody's got them, but how are you handling those?
So I'm going to talk about when I first started um, to now. When I first started, it kind of got to me when someone was like, "Oh, your price is too high. I don't want to book with you guys. Stop texting me." And it kind of just got to me, and I would just sit there and be like, "Why doesn't no one want to buy from us?" But now it's just every customer is not your customer, and failure, setbacks, that's all temporary. Example I'm going to use is like a farmer using fertilizer to grow their crops. Like I like to use failure to as a fertilizer of my success, and just learn from it and grow from failure instead of wallowing in that failure.
That's a fantastic way to look at it. I mean, the analogy you used is perfect because people who just bottle it up and let it eat at them and just kind of sulk in it does you no good. It
No,
actually hurts you because now you're completely distracted. And I'll admit, I deal with that all the time. I work on it daily.
yeah,
But just learning from that and taking, like you said, those failures and sprinkling it throughout your everyday life, you'll now come into a situation and be like, I was here a week, 2 week, a month last year in a similar situation. I handled it that way. It
exactly.
failed. Let me do the opposite and see where I go.
Just learn from your mistakes. It's as simple as that. Because people, they don't last long. Some businesses don't last long. I think the average is like maybe 4 or 5 years. I don't know, but like just keep growing, and if something goes wrong, don't just quit. Figure out a way to make it work. A lot of people just easily quit. They'll just test something out for like a month. They're like, this doesn't work. I quit. Let me go find something else.
I feel like that's very, very true, especially in digital space, product
Yeah,
drop shipping, subscription boxes. If you don't have somebody buying your product kind of quickly, then there could be a number of reasons why you're not going to know, especially if you quit super fast. Um, and again, same with the home services.
mm,
If there's another way to do it, and this is if you have zero money to start, or if you had
yeah,
like $100, you
yeah,
basically sign up for the starter plan on Booking Koala, $27. You start posting in free Facebook groups. Moment you get a job, you are the provider. You go out and clean. And this is for
right.
somebody who's got like no money saved up. Get a couple cleans in, build up some revenue, build up some reviews, you know, put the put all the legalities into it, make sure you have your business registered and all that. Do that for about a month, 2 months, and then start hiring and then get the ball rolling that way. And in that case, you know exactly what's going to work because you were a cleaner or a provider, and then you know how to tackle basically any issue. And it's going to help you hire cleaners going forward.
Right. It all starts with, setting yourself goals, whether it's business, personal. If you don't have goals, you're not going to go anywhere. So if you start a business and you're just like, you know, this business makes a lot of money. Let me just go into it. And then you don't make money during the first month, and then you're like, oh, okay, I quit. Let me go find something else. It's just focus on one thing, put all your effort into it, and just keep going for, months and see what happens. This it's just like building something. It just feels good because I know what it feels like to start from zero and then end up with something because I set goals for myself. Even for my painting business, started from zero and then I was like, this month I want to do 5K. And every morning I woke up, I was looking at my board and it was like, 5K. It's just in my head. So everything that I do, I want to get to that 5K. It's just going to keep pushing you. And so you take actions. And yeah, it's like a ship, if it doesn't have direction, it's going to sink. So
100%, for sure. What about strategies you use to manage risk and uncertainty?
So with us, different strategies we use is, for the internal management system, after like every cleaning, it sends out that email, like I said, to make sure that if something goes bad, we can handle it. And then also sending out an SMS message to promote our recurring service to the clients after every cleaning, giving them that discount. Because in the winter months, fall months, it can be slow. So you want to make sure that you have a good chunk of recurring revenue where your employees are still busy and people are like, it's slow, you got to pay my bills and and you guys aren't finding me any cleanings. And so just focus on because one-time jobs are great, but when it all comes down to it, you want that recurring revenue. That's good. That's what's going to keep driving your business and give your cleaners some work.
Just knowing exactly going into every month
Yeah,
and as well as every week,
yeah,
daily breakdowns, just knowing how much you have coming in, okay, maybe this week I really need to possibly double up my marketing budget to
yeah,
get more people in. Or, maybe I got to go to my email campaign and hit up all my one time customers and give them a discount code to come back and
yeah,
book a recurring service. And kind of going back to the goals that you said, I feel like some people might put too broad of a goal initially. I just first starting and be like, 6 months from now, I want to have 500,000 in revenue.
yeah,
Okay, that can be a goal, but the way I would break down or how I break down goals is
yeah,
immediate future, medium future, and then long term. So if I first started, it would be all right, first month, I want to get 3K in revenue.
right,
And then second goal would be within 6 months, I want to be at 15K in revenue or 20K in revenue. And a year from now, I want to be at 75, 80. So just having incremental, but also attainable goals.
right.
Huge.
You don't want to make some like high number up when if you're first starting. You're like, I want to sell $30,000 this month. That's not going to happen. Yeah, you have to start small and then work your way up. I started,
Absolutely.
like, I was like, I want to do $3,000, and this was in January, and then I did like 2,500, and then I was like, okay, I want to double that. Let's try 6,000 now, and then I did 7,000, and just so on.
And you didn't hit your goal, but you got close. So
Yeah,
it showed you that, okay, maybe there were a couple little setbacks that I had to learn from, get
yeah,
over those obstacles. If I did, I would have hit my goal, which is great because that just gives you motivation. And like you said, you know what? Now next month, instead of doubling the 2,500, I'm going to double the
yeah,
initial three,
right,
make it six, and you blew it out the water by 1,000. So again, those goals, making sure that they're still a goal,
yeah,
but attainable at least for the one that is within the near future.
And then
Because
breaking it down into like monthly, weekly, daily, so you're hitting those goals or getting closer to them. And then if you're not, then you can figure out what you're doing wrong and fix it.
100%. What about your approach to pricing and making sure that your services stay competitive?
So we work with other cleaning companies. Like I said, they give us jobs, we give them jobs, and then if there's new businesses, I like to just go on their website, see what their pricing is. If it's lower than ours, if we're higher, what they're charging for a two bed, one bath, whatever it may be. And then also for the seasons as well. During the summer months, a deep clean might be a lot more expensive than it is during like a winter month. So, decreasing prices as the season go, that also helps out too.
And you're in a, well, your business is
Yeah.
in a climate where you have all four seasons. Where you
Yeah.
currently live, not it's either hot or ridiculously hot.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, it's a little bit harder depending on what area of the country you're in, but like you said, places that will be, during winter time where there's snow, salt, extra work to do cleanup, getting the salt marks off the floor, and prices will vary. You will get busier around holidays, but it's just making sure that you're on top of that
Yeah,
and noticing what the market is kind of doing at the same time.
exactly.
I wouldn't say, stalk competitors and do like a daily or weekly check
Yeah.
in. I
Oh, no.
this every 6 months or maybe once a year, kind of glance over, see what they're
Yeah,
doing. You could even throw in like a bogus email to their email campaigns just to see what they're sending out and kind of monitor it that way to see what their
exactly.
promotions are. But spending any massive amounts of time consistently just adds to burnout, adds to confusion. Um, gets you knocked off track of what your goal is.
Yeah, don't focus too much on the competition.
No, no, definitely not. What about steps you take with, I mean, customer loyalty and generating repeat business? How are you rewarding, I guess, customers? Because you reward your providers
Mm.
with great service. What about the opposite end of that?
So for the loyal customers, at the end of every year, well, we just started last year. We send them like thank you cards, and then also right now, like if their year anniversary is here, we'll just send them like a gift, a box of cookies, wine, whatever it may be. Just thank them for being a customer and for believing in us.
That's a great way to look at it. I've heard of the thank you cards or Christmas
Yeah.
cards around the end of the year. Um, but even a small gift, especially if they're a recurring customer with you for at least 4 or 5 months,
Yeah.
you've gotten a good amount of revenue from them
Yeah.
and profit. So, a $20 box of cookies or edible arrangements, something that, shows up at their door and they think it's from a family member or a friend, but
Mm.
it's their cleaning service, will blow away 9 out of 10 people being like, wow, they care. They really want to show that commitment.
And just leaving a note or something for them after the cleaning's done, just thanking them for their business, and if they ever need us back, offering them that discount.
What about any social or community initiatives that the business is involved in?
Not yet, since we've started, but there is some plan for the future for a nonprofit that we just partnered with, Cleaning for a Reason, who gives free cleanings to cancer patients. So we want to hold like a fundraiser, something like that, some event where we can give back to the community.
That's excellent. That compare combining
Yeah.
yourself with nonprofits and things that are actually within your space
Mm,
is huge. You know, same way a dog walker can partner with, or a dog walking company can partner with a shelter and be
yeah,
like, they're going to cover all the adoption fees for the day, um, and set up a whole thing for it. Those are things that, you know, I feel like business owners, some don't take into account, where
right.
these are the things that will differentiate you from your competition.
It really does.
Pricing, reviews, those are all, that's for every single business. What are you doing? What's your business doing to go the extra mile to really showcase you're not just another cleaning service that I should give you my money versus the next person?
It really does separate you from your competitors. Because, like you said, not a lot of people focus on that, like giving back, charity, uh, you know, partnering up with a nonprofit. It goes a long way to show that, what your company really is, and that you guys do care about your community.
Or even starting, a scholarship, college
Yeah,
scholarships. You could put $1,000 into a scholarship, and take applications once a year, and do that as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be with a specific charity,
right.
but something that gives back is is definitely a massive way to stay above those competitors. How are you staying motivated, to maintain your entrepreneurial spirit and drive? Is it family? Is it money?
Right now, it's definitely family. Like I said, being the first like business owner in my family, I just want to set a good example for them and let them know that anything is really possible. If you focus on that, you could do anything. Then I also like to travel to new places, and that just keeps pushing me. To just keep experiencing the world, and maybe it's going to give me another business idea. So yeah.
What about, so how often have you traveled this year so far? When did you move to Texas?
I moved to Texas in January.
Have you gone on any trips in the last 6 months?
Yes, I
Any
just went to Dominican Republic, and then I'll be going to Los Angeles in October, and then I want to do like a cruise. I've never been on a cruise, so I want to check that out, see how that goes, sometime at the end of this year.
And the most beautiful thing about all of that is, as long as you have a laptop with internet, you
You're good
could do this.
to go.
I mean, you, at this point, since your VA is full time, you technically don't even need your laptop. You could do it off a smartphone. As long
Yeah,
as your VA could contact you, text or call, and you could check some things.
that was the best thing. Because when I first started, I went to vacation in Puerto Rico, and that one wasn't well, it wasn't really a real vacation because I was still taking calls and like kind of working a little bit. But this year was the best because it was an actual vacation. I didn't even work a single hour, and it was for like 6 days, so it was great.
Do you happen to know? If you don't, this is
Yeah,
off the cusp. But how many new bookings did you get in those 6 days where you weren't a minute into the business?
I would say about 6 to 10 that week. Yeah,
6 to 10 more than, you know you're not, again, you weren't in it a minute. You were completely on vacation.
yeah,
Cleaners were set up to take care of their jobs. Your VA took care of all the calls and answered everything.
yeah,
It's it's a beautiful life once you get to a certain point in the business where you, as long as you're happy, all your expenses are paid, you got extra money. If you want to travel, you can. If
yeah.
it's a new car you want, motorcycle, boat, whatever it may be, once you get to that point, life becomes a lot easier. It does take a little bit of work initially, but if you stay focused, massive returns.
Right.
What about important lessons you've learned as a business owner?
Important lessons that I've learned is to just be consistent. When I first started, there were months where I didn't get a sale, days, weeks, and I didn't give up. I just kept on answering every phone call, taking every booking and just staying on top of things. Because, like I said, some people are quick to give up. If they don't see a sale that first month, they might just try something else. But just because you didn't get a sale that first month doesn't mean you're not going to get it the second month. And that's what pushed me. December, I had one sale, for $200, one booking for $200, and I could have just gave up, but I knew that there was more to it, and kept adding more recurring customers, and yeah, ever since then, my life's changed drastically.
And just like you said, there's two ways of going about having a $200 month. You either give up or you
Yeah,
take that $200 month and you plaster it all over your bedroom and you use it as motivation to knock the next month out of the ballpark.
exactly. I remember there was, months where I was paying out cleaners, but it was like negative, profit margins. It's like negative 10K, negative 20K. I was like, all right, I have to break even, and just kept on selling more jobs, and now I mean we're positive, so everything's going good.
When you were around that time where it was negative for a while, was that when you were spreading your marketing channels all over?
Yes,
And yeah, and
yeah,
then
spending money on marketing, paying cleaners. I wasn't even really paying myself because I still had my savings for my job, and I was just spending the business money.
so that was one question I forgot to ask earlier on
Mm.
is you didn't have a full-time job when you started,
Oh,
or
I
did
did.
you? You
I
did.
did have a job, and uh, I mean it was like low pay, and I was a sales rep, but I just bet on myself. I just told them, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. I want to focus on my business, and I still remember I didn't even have an office chair. I think it was one of those like metal chairs, and I had a pillow in the back, and I was just working, just grinding it out. And now I have an office. We've come a long way.
It's crazy to sit and reflect, especially, I mean, a year and a half is not a long time,
Yeah,
but just sitting in a moment and having that couple minutes to yourself to reflect and think back, wow, a year and a half ago, if I didn't make the leap, I most likely would still be either at that job or another job, and every single day, 9 to 5.
same
Wake
thing.
up, go to work, come home, maybe get a workout in, maybe get a couple hours of Netflix in or video games or whatnot, eat, go to sleep, repeat. Now, a year and a half later, you've got a $1 million business
Mm.
and you're working 3 hours a day, traveling, living in a different place. It's huge. It
Yes.
really is huge. So you value, how often are you kind of reflecting then? Is it, I mean, not
Yeah.
everybody, I'm not saying weekly or daily,
Yeah.
but do you realize that there are certain times, or whether it's a great day or a horrible day, where you're sitting down and reflecting?
I mean, there is times like um where it's just like you just have so much time, and I've already done like everything that I wanted to do, and I'm like, wow, still have a lot of time to do stuff. And I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. So I might just go golfing or, play some basketball. But yeah, it's definitely like, wow, I never had this much time.
What
And I'm
about,
only 25 years old, so I'm still trying to just keep improving.
now with all the time, are you thinking about expanding to other cities in the state or expanding out of the state into another state?
So right now the goal is to first do $1 million in 1 year, and then I want to expand to another state. I during like my first year, excuse me, I came to Texas in January, and I kind of like tested out the playing field here and had on my website, had everything going, did some Google LSA, and it just I spent a lot of money. I think I spent like $5,000. That didn't work out, so I was just like, you know what? Let me just focus on what is working, and it's what I'm doing right now in the city that I'm in. So I put all that money back into there, and I just want to grow there first, and then figure out which areas I want to branch into.
Awesome.
But I was just moving way too fast, so I just shut everything down in Texas.
And again, that can happen. And you use that experience as, okay, it was a $5,000 experience that you learned very quickly. Okay, let me handle my business first. Let me hit that goal that I had. And then I already have some knowledge, a little bit of failure, could
Right.
revisit in the future. Not done with it, just circling back and reevaluating my next steps.
Exactly.
What about if you can share an example of a time where you led your team, whether it's the providers or you and your VA through a significant change or transition?
So I would definitely say getting started when I first was hiring cleaners and they're leaving their job and they're trusting me to get, them cleanings. That was definitely like hard because there were people that were like, hey, I haven't gotten cleaning in like 2, 3 weeks. What's going on? Are things working out? And, I just quit my job and it just kept pushing me, and from then on to, a cleaner just getting 2 cleanings, a week to now they're having like 10, 30, 40 cleanings a month. It's just it's just great because then you have the cleaners that are like, "Oh my god, you changed my life." Like, I have never done, like, this amount of work, and now I'm making more money than my last job. Like, thank you so much. And I'm like, no, thank you for for believing in the vision and for trusting me. Because if you didn't, then we wouldn't be where we are today. So it goes both ways.
100%. And those are the people that become like family, the ones that stuck
Exactly.
with you in the beginning, who, rode the rough waves with you. You almost have to look at them as a family, because if
Mm,
it was your buddy or your friend, they, after a couple days, they might just be like, you know what, dude, I'm over it. This ain't working out. It's not for me.
right.
Hopefully it works out for you, but I'm out, kind of thing. But you hired these cleaners who had jobs, who ultimately left those jobs to give you a chance for your business, and they stuck with it.
It's definitely eye opening because it was just like, this could happen or that could happen. But I just kept on pushing. I told them what I was going to do. And then here we are now.
If you show them what's possible, if you show them and tell them the story of who you are, how you are, what you're about to do, as long as you're genuine and their morals and vision align the same, sky's the limit.
It
It
really
truly
is.
is.
Anything's possible.
And it's crazy, because who would have thought owning a home cleaning service would
Mm,
be this big and this influential to so many people's lives? Yours, your immediate family members that you're helping out, the providers that work for you who are making more than a living wage and are proud of the work that they're doing. Um,
right.
it's not a sexy job. Home services are not, lawn care, pool cleaning, window washing. None of it's sexy, but they're necessities. And those are the things that are going to keep, the economy going. Those are the things that will, make everybody's lives beneficial.
Right.
What about social media and your marketing and customer engagement? What are you posting a lot, or are you, just active enough to show your customers that you are an active business?
Social media definitely plays a huge role in our business because we're online. So when someone's searching for a cleaning business, we don't make sure that, for example, a Google post is not like, oh, they haven't posted in 4 years. Like we want to make sure that we're posting promotions, updates, whatever it may be, like every day. So we post 3 to 4 times a week on Google, Facebook, Instagram, because you don't know, someone may be on your Facebook page and they're just scrolling. You want to have something on there for them to see.
Absolutely. And if you're using, before and after pictures of
Right.
cleans, or provider profiles, and showing, the outstanding reviews that they get for their work, whatever it may be, it doesn't have to be like the next hottest TikTok dance or trend or
Right.
whatever. It's the little things with consistency, like we said, goes a long way with brand reputation and that continuity.
Right. And because some people, they might make a post and then they're like, I'm not getting a like. It's like, it doesn't matter how many likes you get, just post. Someone's going to see it, and there's people that go on our Facebook page and, they're like, hey, I saw, that you guys are offering a discount. They might have not liked the post, but they're still going to call. So just making sure that you have something for any time that one person is on your website or on your Facebook page, just for them something to reflect on, see who you are and what you guys are about.
If I had two Facebook profiles side by side, one was created a year ago and
Mm,
has 150 followers with maybe one or two likes on
mm,
every post, and the posts are, like you said, 3 to 5 times a week,
yeah,
versus a page that was, started 2 months ago, has 15,000 followers already, and
yeah,
has two posts with the same amount of engagement.
yeah,
I'm taking option A because clearly all those followers were bought and faked,
exactly.
and they didn't take the time to build up the brand. They're trying to fake it a little bit or a lot of it to make it before, they have anything to show for it.
And that's what I've noticed too. And in this field, people using fake, followers or fake reviews. It's just like that's not going to help you in the end. You have to give great work in order to receive a great review. You can't fake a great review, and some customers are going to know if it's a fake review. So um, just just do great work. That's all it comes down to, and you're going to get a good review.
Especially with all the AI options, Chat GPT, Bard, all those things, with that being so massively prevalent right now. And for the future, people will use it and not necessarily make certain edits to make it personalized. They'll
Yeah,
just put in the prompt, copy, paste, send it off. Where it's like, it's a great tool. I personally like Grammarly because my
I
grammar's
like
not
that.
perfect. Could always make things better, but at least I'm putting in an input personally, and it
Right.
sounds natural versus computer spitting out the most proper ways to say your point across.
Yeah.
It's tough, and it's going to be used to, for companies and whoever fake those reviews. They're
Right.
everywhere. I mean, I'm sure Amazon have it, Google, it's everywhere. Yelp, it's just the more you have of real, genuine responses, even if they're not so great, again, it's a learning curve, and how you respond to that negativity is shows how you handle your business. With that being said, customer feedback, how are you incorporating that back into your business strategy? Are you, taking email responses from people and, screenshotting it? Are you publishing your reviews not only to Google but everywhere? Or talk more on that.
Yeah, so we like to, make note of all feedback, good and bad. And so if it's a good review, we want to promote it everywhere. So for like, Tuesdays, we have Testimonial Tuesday. So we'll post on Instagram, Facebook, Google, just post a good review about a customer that, had a good experience with us. And if it's a bad cleaning or, a bad review, we want to make sure we're staying on top of it, communicate with the team that did the job, and make sure it doesn't happen again.
I like that testimonial Tuesdays. It's catchy and it gives you consistency. If you're posting every other or other days and it's just random content at that point, every Tuesday is going to be a new review, a new way to showcase how great of a business you are and how much love you have for your providers as well as your customers.
Right.
What about, you talked about learning
Mhm.
and podcasts. What's your approach to continuous learning and professional development as a business owner?
So always, like I said, being a lifelong learner, reading those books on leadership, on sales to hone my skills and become a better business owner, not only like business wise, but also like in personal life too. Because if you're not growing, if you're not learning, you're gonna get left behind.
Strategy for scaling your business and managing growth. Don't have to give the whole thing away, but if you have a little bit, like what's your plan? Are you, 10% extra on marketing month over month? Is it, trying to get 10% new emails month over month? What's that kind of like?
So for me, it's always having at least that, you know, online or offline marketing. So texting the realtors, cold calling 30 businesses a day, researching some cities that we can go into that, have a good population size, like you said, like suburbs of Chicago or, wherever. We don't want to go into like a major city. As long as there's like 100K people, good household income, good homes that are worth a lot, you can make a lot of money.
Awesome. What about culture of teamwork and collab among your providers? Sure, there might be some providers that might not necessarily like working together,
Yeah.
but how are you creating that environment of, we're a team?
So we like to, just foster a collaboration, and just making sure that cleaners work together, and if and just giving them a job. Someone might work solo, but putting them together, and if things go bad, them communicating, us communicating with them, and giving them the opportunity to team building. And that's going to help us grow as a business and also help the cleaner grow as well.
Have you don't have to go into detail, but have you had any points in the last year and a half where, two providers kind of went at it at a job?
Yeah, just this year, one cleaner was like cleaning this side of the home, the other cleaner was on the other side, and the cleaner that was downstairs really didn't do much, and the other cleaner had to go back and fix her work. And we just noticed that she just wasn't really focusing on cleaning. It was just kind of like on her phone and stuff like that, or just not taking the job seriously. So that cleaners are no longer with us. We like to hire people that are passionate about their work and passionate about doing a good job.
And when you're working within a team, if you're by yourself,
Yeah,
you're basically, if you're getting paid a flat rate, you're
yeah,
gonna shoot yourself in the foot by taking an hour and a half clean and doing it in 3.5, 4 hours. That's on you. But when you're in a team, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting your teammates, and that just it's not acceptable in any case
Right.
because you're taking time out of their split. You're splitting the work. You're taking extra time from them to either do your work or redo your work, which is probably just as bad.
Yeah, that's the worst thing is redoing a poor, cleaner's work and them deducting their pay, and they're like, "Oh, like it took me 5 hours," and it's like, but you really didn't do much, you know.
It's like
So
how? How did
yeah,
it take you 5 hours to clean the
yeah,
house, and yet there's still pictures of
yeah,
dust bunnies everywhere or finger marks on glass? Like it
yeah.
just
I just couldn't wrap my head around it.
right. It's we know what you did, and it wasn't working.
Exactly.
All right. Well, what about where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years?
Definitely want to add, like, 5 more locations, and eventually, if it all goes good, go into the franchising route. But I'm still learning more about that. Because it's funny, people always call us and they're like, "You guys are franchise," and we're like, "No, we're not a franchise. We're a local family-owned cleaning company."
Doesn't that give you, when you get those calls,
Yeah,
maybe it's annoying in a slight sense because you got to constantly talk, but doesn't that really make you feel great when
it does
somebody's
make it
like, "Can I franchise this?" Like, I started it a year and a half ago by myself with just a laptop, and now people want to take over what you've done and implement it other places. Like,
exactly.
one of the
It's
highest compliments you can have in this industry.
it really is. It's a great feeling.
Selling, do you ever plan to sell later down the line, or is it, I'm just keep building it up, keep adding VAs, keep adding providers, and just at a certain
But
point
definitely,
it's
at a certain point, definitely sell if it's the right amount. If I can live comfortably off that amount, then yes. But I know what my business is worth, so they got to come up with a great number.
and again, you're 25,
Yeah,
super young to have a business this size at 25. um and you're a solo owner, no partners, correct?
yeah, just me.
Again, you don't have to bounce your ideas off anybody else. If you want to make a change, you make the change happen right away. Not necessarily, I'm not saying that a partner doesn't let that happen, because if you
Yeah,
have a partner with the same mindset, that's a 2 minute conversation. You both are on the same page. Boom, boom, it's done.
mm,
A little easier when you're by yourself. Decision making is easier, but
yeah,
also harder because you might not think that it might be the right direction to go towards, and having a second set of eyes or second brain on it would help. But again, give and take, there's pros and cons to everything, so that we won't fall down that rabbit hole. Let's go a little bit more towards the software side now.
yeah.
What role does tech play in your business operations? I know it's kind of a silly
And
question.
it plays a big role. Like I said, it's helped me scale so fast, being one of like only 3 companies that offers online booking, and it helps with everything from the start of the transaction all the way to the end. Like I said, but taking payments, taking online bookings, having a customer portal, reports, asking for feedback after the job, reviews, review management, customer management system. It just makes things super easy.
And when you first started a year and a half ago, did you use any other softwares? Did you look at any other softwares?
Before, when I first started, yes, there was. Do you want me to name it or?
That's up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, yeah, I did use another maid software business, but they just didn't offer the abilities and stuff that Booking Koala did. So I made a switch in February this year.
So you were with them for about a little over a year then.
Yep.
Okay. And it was just capabilities, features, functionalities.
Yeah.
Okay. What about, so I guess that answers my next question. How long have you been using us? It's
Like
been
5 months.
5, 6 months now.
Yeah.
And then I guess it's just going down the row here. What drew you into using us and why?
So first, with the business, cleaning groups that I'm in, there's people that own like multiple locations, and then what's the guy that started Booking Koala?
Philip,
What's the company that
King of
he
Maids.
King of Maids? Yeah. So I looked at the website and I'm like, wow, this guy's like in a lot of places. Or, I look at other cleaning companies. I'm like, how are they doing this? And they wouldn't tell me. So I looked up Booking Koala and I just came upon your website, got a demo, and you guys offered the multi locations where you can differentiate between price and differentiate with zip codes. And I was like, wow, this is cool, you know? And that's what drew me in. And I was like, I want to add more locations. This Mate software doesn't offer it. So I have to make the switch and completely rebuilt my website. I mean, my website before was good, but my website now is great. So it just changed a lot of things.
Are you using a third-party website builder, WordPress, Wix, Squarespace,
I
something like
use
that?
WordPress.
WordPress?
Yeah.
Okay. What's one feature that we have that you could not live without? And I'm gonna take away the booking form and the whole software as a whole.
One feature, I would definitely say rating the cleaners, the internal like feedback system, how they can rate the cleaners after every job, and then you can look at the review, see what the customer said, and I just like reading those, good or bad, because the last system didn't offer that. So I'm like, oh, the job is done. We got a 5 out of 5. That's awesome, And then it's like you get a 1 star, and it's like, hey, you got a 1 star review. You might want to take a look at it. So you go in, dive deep, see, what happened with that cleaning. And I mean, I just like getting the emails about how our cleaners are doing, and then also seeing like what their rating is, for the total jobs they did, how many cleanings they did, and then when customers, I can't use the booking form, but it honestly goes a long way when it's like a 5 star review and there's like cleaner that's getting 5 star after 5 star, and then someone books and they're like, "Hey, I want this cleaner. Is she available?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry that they're not available. Next week they are." I'm just getting them into the calendar with that cleaner, then that turns into a recurring job.
That's massive. When you get several reviews constantly mentioning the same cleaner, that's massive for your upcoming bookings,
Right.
one times, people that are going to be looking at that, like you said, because they're going to call you and be like, well, I want Sally, or I want
Yeah.
Joe, or I want Ben, whoever,
Exactly.
and it just makes them happy because they're getting more money, they're getting a full schedule, they don't have to worry about dead spots within their schedule, and it makes a massive impact for everybody. Do you also have that feature set up to now publish if it goes, let's say somebody leaves you a review at 4 out of 5 stars or 4.5 out of 5 stars? Do they now, once they hit submit, are they getting that pop up to then copy and paste to your Google page, your Facebook page, your Yelp page?
I believe I do, but not a lot of people use that feature for some reason. They just leave the internal one because it's quick. Just hit 5 stars and then leave the review. But yeah, usually we have to like be like, hey, we saw your review. It's great, but that's just an internal review. You might, post this on Google, Facebook, Yelp, so other people can find our services like you.
And you
And,
could,
and then
just copy and paste it. Doesn't have to be something.
literally just copy and paste the same review. Yeah.
And I mean, 9 out of 10 times they're going to be okay with it. They may not do it immediately, but just knowing the fact that they'll copy and paste it, they're like, in my when I do it or somebody asks me to do it and they're okay with that,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll get it done now because I get busy. I'll forget. It's going to take me 30 seconds to just click all the links, have them all in new tabs, and boom, done.
Right. Right.
What about one feature that you wish we had that we don't currently have?
I would say, the old, like, software that I use, it had, like, how many, like, visitors you had on your website a month for the year, stuff like that. So I would love to see that and see, like, oh, getting, like, 20,000 hits on my website, that people that are coming in compared to last month and just looking at those reports. That's the only thing that, like, separates you from them is, like, the visitors on the website and stuff.
So, a user counter.
Yeah.
I already marked it down. I will go to our area where we collect all feature requests, make sure it's in there, and if it's not, we will have that added in and see how quickly that
Yeah.
can be brought in.
That would be great. Everything else, I use all the reports, but I'm just like, how many people visited my website? I love to know that, but
All
I
right,
then have to go back to Google Analytics, all that. But if they're right on the website, it's a lot easier to track.
absolutely. Final question here. Think about yourself a year and a half ago,
Mhm.
before you started, before you bought the course, or maybe even after you bought that course, but you were still on the fence. What advice would you give yourself then to get started right away?
I would say, uh, just being consistent, and persevering, and no matter what happens, not letting a no from a customer put you down, and just overthink it because one no might be another yes, and one like person saying I'm going to cancel might just be another person that's going to book the next day. So all those, like, failures, don't just wallow in them and overthink them. Just keep moving and just keep doing what's working.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Hussein, thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure getting to know you, your story. I mean, incredible story from where you've come to where you're at. We wish you nothing but the best. And hopefully, a year or two from now, I can interview you. You'll probably be in, I don't know, Jamaica or Bali on a hammock.
That's
And
actually my plan. I want to go to Bali, so maybe it'll be in Bali.
maybe a year from now in Bali, I'll get you back. We'll interview you and we'll see how much your answers have changed and how much your business has grown in that time.
Definitely. Thanks for your time, Mike. Looking
Of
forward to the
course.
next one.